Welcome back to Neighborhood Store List. In today's video, I'm going to be presenting you my Fighting Flame Swordsman deck. I honestly haven't really had a chance to really play this against anybody. I just test-handed it myself at home. But I think this could be a very competitive deck, especially the way I build it. Without further ado, let's get straight into this build. I start off with 3 Fighting Flame Swordsmans. The Joey Wheeler card. This card has the effect that when it is normal or special summoned, you can add 1 spell or trap that mentions Flame Swordsman from your deck to your hand. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can send 1 Flame Swordsman or 1 monster that mentions it from your deck or extra deck to the graveyard, except for itself. You can only use each effect once per turn. Next up, I have 3 Salamandra, the Flying Flame Dragons. This is a pretty good card. It helps set up combos to get into your Fighting Flame Swordsman faster. When this card is equipped to Flame Swordsman or a monster that mentions it, the equipped monster gains 700 attack. You can only use each of the following effects of Salamander the Flying Flame Dragon once per turn. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can target 1 warrior monster you control, equip this card to the monster you control as an equipped spell. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 Salamander spell or trap from your deck to your hand, which also goes with the Fighting Flame Swordsman to help get your Salamander Fusion out, or even your Salamander Chain, so that way you can either climb into your your Ultimate Flame Swordsman, or you can book him in your opponent on his turn with the Salamander Chain. Next, I have 3 Infinite Knight Reynolds. I actually like this card. It helps me climb into my synchros a lot faster. If you control a Fire Warrior monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. If summoned this way, treat this card as a tuner. You can only special summon once per turn. If this card is special summoned, you can target 1 of your Fire Warrior monsters or 1 of your equipped spells that is banished or in your graveyard except Infinite Knight Reynolds and add to your hand. So that way you can also recycle your monsters and get back out your Flying Flame Swordsman. So that way, in case if you lose your monsters, you can at least try again on your next turn. I run 1 Infinite Knight Ricardito. This one is, you can banish this card from your hand or graveyard, special summon 1 level 4 or lower Fire Warrior monster from your hand as a tuner, and if this card is normal special summon, I can target 1 level 4 or lower Fire Warrior monster in my graveyard, except for itself, and special summon it. Also, you can special summon monsters for the rest of this turn, except for Warrior monsters, which luckily for the majority of this deck is Warrior monsters. Let's see. You can only use that once per turn, but that's okay. I run 2 Infinite Knight Turpins, for them being level 4s. While this card is an equipped card, the equipped monster can be treated as a tuner. If you use a synchro material, you can use each of the following effects once per turn. If you control a monster equipped with an equipped card, you can special summon this card from your hand or graveyard, but if you summon it from the graveyard, banish it when it leaves the field. Or, if this card is in your graveyard, you can target 1 warrior monster you control, equip this card to that monster control as an equipped spell card. And for the hand traps, obviously 3 Ash Blossoms. That's it for monsters. Now for the spells and traps. I run 3 Fighting Flame Swords, which this card has the effect. You can activate 1 of these effects. Add 1 card from your deck to your hand that mentions Flame Swordsman, except Fighting Flame Sword. If an attack is declared involved with a Fire Warrior monster you control, you can target 1 card in the field and destroy it. When your opponent activates a card effect that targets Flame Swordsman or a monster that mentions it that you control, you can negate the effect. It's pretty good to protect or to either get out your Ultimate Flame Swordsman faster. 3 Flame Swords Realms. This card is really good to start off. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects when you normal summon a Fire Warrior monster. Once per turn, you can special summon 1 monster from your hand or face of field to the graveyard. Special summon 1 Flame Swordsman from your extra deck. This tree is a fusion summon, and once per turn, when a monster declares an attack, you can target 1 warrior monster you control until the end of this turn. It loses exactly 1,000 attack, but all other monsters you control will gain 1,000 attack. And then I run 3 Phoenix Gear Blades, which has the effect that equip only to a warrior or fire monster against 300 attack. At the end of the damage step, if the equipped monster attacked, you can send this card to the graveyard. During this battle phase, each of your warrior monsters or fire monsters can make a second attack. If this card is sent to the graveyard or banished to activate a monster effect, you can add this card to your hand. Honestly, you probably won't even need to run 3. It's just good to draw into sometimes, especially if you're going second. And I run 2 Salamander Fusions. To be truth be told, the extra deck only has 5 fusion monsters and the rest are synchros or links. But this card, equip only to a fire warrior monster against 700 attack. If the equipped monster would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy this card instead. While this card is equipped to a fusion monster you control, you can send this card and equip monster to graveyard, and if you do, special summon 1 Flame Swordsman or 1 fusion monster that matches it from your extra deck. Now I have a 1 of in the deck, a fusion armament, and it's reveal 1 fusion monster from your extra deck and special summon 1 of the fusion materials whose name is mentioned on that monster from your extra deck or graveyard. But until the end of the opponent's turn, it cannot attack, and its effects, if any, are negated. Basically, you want to just use this just to get out Flame Swordsman from your extra deck. And it's ironic that the fusion monster on this is also Flame Swordsman. Plus 1 instant fusion, just in case if you don't get into your Fire Flame Swordsman and you draw this, you can still get your Flame Swordsman out and try and start to go into your Ultimate Flame Swordsman with that. 1 Infernoble Arms, Halticlear. While this card is equipped to a monster, you can target 1 face-up monster you control this turn. It cannot declare attacks except with that monster. Also, it gains the ability to make this turn to make a second attack during each battle phase, then destroy this card. If this card is sent to the graveyard because the equipped monster is sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 face-up monster in the field and destroy it. Plus 1 Rhoda, in case if you don't have Fire Flame Swordsman, that you can draw into that using Rhoda as long as you don't get ashed. I also run 3 triple Tactus Talents. It's just really good because in today's meta, your opponent's going to activate a monster effect during your turn, hopefully during the main phase, which would be good to get either draws, send a card from their hand back to the deck, or just take control of one of their monsters. Plus, to help stop other hand traps against you, 1 Called by the Grave. On to the traps here. I have 2 Salamander Retrains with chains. Target 1 fire monster in the field, equip this card to it as an equipped card that gives a 700 attack. Then you can change 1 effect monster in the field to face down defense position. You can banish this card from the graveyard, fusion summon 1 fire warrior monster or dragon fusion monster from your extra deck by shuffling its materials from your hand, field, and or graveyard back into the deck, but destroyed during the end phase. It's just a really good Book of Moon, and that's why I run 2 of those. I would hardly ever use its banish effect. I run 1 Flame Swordsman. If a monster is special summon 1 level 7 or lower fusion monster from your extra deck that is Flame Swordsman or mentions it. Then you can change 1 face-up monster on the field into face-down defense position. During your opponent's battle phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard and tribute 1 face-down defense position monster, special summon 1 Flame Swordsman or 1 monster that mentions it from your deck or extra deck. So that's also your 3rd Book of Moon right there, is plus a free special summon. And to end the main deck, 3 Infinite Impermanences. Alright, now for the extra deck. I run just 2 Flame Swordsmans. I didn't want to have to cut down my fusions too much, but with today's meta, it's good just to have 2 because there is a lot of room for different types of monsters in this deck. 1 Fighting Flame Dragon, which has the effect that during the damage step, quick effect, you can target 1 warrior fusion monster you control, equip this card from your field or graveyard to that monster you control as an equipped spell. You can only use the effect Fire and Flame Swordsman once per turn. While this card is equipped to Flame Swordsman or a card that mentions it, the equipped monster gains 700 attack and can make a second attack during each battle phase. Sometimes that's all you need is that with Ultimate Flame Swordsman on the field to OTK your opponent. And we run 2 Fire Flame Swordsmans. Just in case if the first one ever gets destroyed or it gets destroyed by its own effect, you can at least have a second one. The way the deck runs, you can easily get 1 or even 2 on the field at the same time. You can target 1 monster your opponent controls and destroy it, and if you do, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. This is a quick effect if this card is equipped with an equipped card. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles, you can double this card's attack until the end of this turn, but if you do, destroy it at the end phase of your turn. That's the only downside, but hopefully you can OTK your opponent just by using Ultimate Flame Swordsman, equipped with many equipped cards, as well as Fire and Flame Dragon to make a second attack. Now for the Infernobles. 1 Infernoble Knight, Captain Oliver. When this card declares an attack while equipped, you can target 1 face-up card on the field and destroy it. During your main phase, except the turn this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 warrior monster you control, special summon this card from your graveyard as a tuner, and if you do, equip that monster you control to this card as a equipped spell that gives a 500 extra attack. 1 Infernoble Knight, Emperor Charles. If an equipped card becomes equipped to a monster on the field, even during a damage step, you can destroy 1 card on the field. During the end phase, you can equip 1 equipped spell from your hand or graveyard to this card. Then you can equip 1 Fire Warrior monster from your deck to this card as a equipped spell card that gives a 500 attack. You can use each effect of Infernoble Knight Emperor Charles once per turn. And that's it for the fusions and for the synchros. Now onto the big one, the links. 1 Emperor Charles the Great. He's very easy to climb into with Infernoble Knight Emperor Charles, because all it takes is 1 level 9 Infernoble Knight Emperor Charles equipped with an equipped card. If this card is link summoned, you can target 1 Infernoble Knight Emperor Charles in your graveyard. This card's name becomes that target's original name and gains that target's original effects. Then equip that target to this card as equipped spell that gives it 500 attack. Once per turn, when a spell, a trap, or effect is activated, you can send 1 equipped spell from your hand or face-up field to the graveyard, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. It's just nice to have an Omni-Negate on your board. And now we go into our climbing cards. 1 Salamangreat Amaraj. Quick effect, you contribute this card, then target 1 monster you control. It cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects this turn. When a normal summon monster you control is destroyed by battle while this card is in graveyard, you can special summon this card. 1 Salamangreat Sunlit Wolf. Takes 2 fire effect monsters. If a monster is normal special summon to the zone this card points to, except during a damage step, you can add 1 fire monster from your graveyard to your hand, but for the rest of this turn, you cannot normal set or special summon monsters with the added monster's name. During your main phase, if you control this card that was link summoned using Salamangreat Sunlit Wolf as material, you can add 1 Salamangreat spell or trap from your graveyard to your hand. Don't really need that effect. It's just really good to bring back cards from your graveyard, plus it's linked to Cyber's monster. 1 Heated the Fire Charmer, Ablaze. You can target 1 fire effect monster your opponent controls. Your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to your zone this card points to. If this link summon card is destroyed by battle or destroyed by an opponent's card effect while it's in its owner's monster zone, you can add 1 fire monster with 1500 or less defense from your deck to your hand, which guess would be the Infernoble Knight monsters because Fire and Flame Swordsman's defense is 1600. We also have 1 IP Masquerena. Takes 2 non-link monsters. During your opponent's main phase, you can quick effect. Immediately after this effect resolves, link summon 1 link monster using materials you control, including this card. You can only use the effect of IP Masquerena once per turn. A link monster that uses this card as material cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects. And one Decode Talker Heat Soul, which has the effect that gains 500 attack for each monster this it points to. Quick effect, you could pay 1,000 life points and draw a card. Then, if your life points are 2,000 or less, you can apply this effect, banish this card from the field, and if you do, special summon one Link 3 or lower Cyberus monster from your extra deck, except for Decode Talker Heat Soul. You can use these effects once per turn. And one Promethean Princess Bestower of Flames. You cannot special summon monsters except fire monsters. You can only use each effect of the following effects Promethean Princess Bestower of Flames once per turn. During your main phase, you can special summon one fire monster from your graveyard. If a monster is special summoned to your opponent's field, while this card's in your graveyard, except during a damage step, you can target one fire monster you control and one monster your opponent controls, destroy them, and special summon this card back from your graveyard. And one World Sea Dragon Zealantis, which has the effect that you can only control one of these monsters on the field. You can only use each effect of the following effects of World Sea Dragon Zealantis once per turn. During your main phase, you can banish all monsters on the field. Then special summon as many monsters as possible that were banished by this effect to their opponent's owner's field, face up or in face down defense position. During the battle phase, quick effect, you can destroy cards on the field up to the number of co-link monsters on the field. Well, that's it for the build. Now for some test hands. Alrighty. First, I'll activate the Flame Swordsman to protect my normal summon monsters. Normal summon the Fighting Flame Swordsman. Activate the effect. I'll search for... Let's see. I guess I'll search for Salamander Fusion. Activate Fusion Armament. Reveal Ultimate Flame Swordsman. Special summon Fighting Flame Swordsman. Equip Salamander Fusion to Flame Swordsman. Send this card and the equip monster to the graveyard to bring out the Ultimate Flame Swordsman. I'll special summon Infinite Knight Renaud. Because this is a go in first hand, I would rather make sure that I can climb into my Link monsters. Honestly, the fusions in my eyes would be go second, and the rest would be go in first. Activate Infinite Knight Renaud's effect. I'll equip Salamander Fusion from my graveyard. Then link it off to Emperor Charles the Great. Activate the effect of Emperor Charles. Gain the effect of Infinite Knight Emperor Charles. Equip it to that monster. And let's see. Use Flame Swordsman. Dump that to the graveyard. Bring out your Ultimate Flame Swordsman again, just so you have it for your next turn. Activate Flame Swordsman's effect. We'll dump... we'll dump the Fighting Flame Dragon from the extra deck. Then we're going to equip the Fighting Flame Dragon to your Ultimate Flame Swordsman. So now the Ultimate Flame Swordsman has the quick effect to pop a card and burn. And then you have Ash Blossom. So that way you at least have a way to stop your opponent from doing anything else. And that would be it for turn 1. If you survive your next turn, we'll draw into another Flame Swordsman. Normal summon, we'll grab the Fire Flame Sword. Activate Fire Flame Sword. We'll grab the Salamander monster. Let's see. I guess we'll equip that to Ultimate Flame Swordsman. Let's see, what's this card do again? I guess that does nothing but with the effect. I guess nothing for that either. Let's see what happens during turn 2. Normal summon this, just for kicks. We're going to link 2. Actually, no, we're going to link 1. Keep that in the field. Link 2. Sunlit Wolf. And then link 3. Into Promethean Princess. Activate the effect. We're going to grab Emperor Charles the Great. And now we have a 3,000 and a 2,700. Plus the Ultimate Flame Swordsman, whose attack right now is sitting at a good whopping 4,200. So honestly, that's really it. Throw the imperm down. Like, this would be my board if I can get this off the best I can. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and tell me down below, what do you think about this deck build? Is this good enough to go to locals with? Until then, have a nice day.